In this video today we're going to be doing some SAT prep, and we are going to focus on questions that deal with linear equations, and we are going to pull them from the category of easy. All of my videos when we're going over questions over different categories are either going to be classified as easy, medium, or hard. So today we're going to be working with easy, what's classified as easy questions with linear equations. Alright, so for this first question here, we have been given a line that has been graphed, and the question asks, which of the following equations represent the line shown in the graph? So hopefully you can look at these four choices and see that they are all in slope-intercept form. Okay, so we can review slope-intercept form here. That would be y equals mx plus b. They are all of that form. There's coefficient in front of the x and then plus or minus another number out there, which is my b. Alright, that b is the y-intercept, and the m is the slope. So you're going to look at the graph and you're going to go to the y-axis and you're going to look for that y-intercept. If this one is 4, 5, 6. So my y-intercept is going to be 6. I know then I've got to calculate a slope. The way you calculate your slope is going to be rise over run. So you're going to find 2 points on the graph that cross at a point on the graph, and you're going to rise, which is 1, and then you're going to run 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have a slope of 1/4. Okay, so if I by hand was going to write the equation, I would write it like this. And of course we see that that specific thing is not an answer choice. However, this one is, and there isn't a little imaginary 1 sitting in front of it right there. So then my answer on this one is going to be B. Alright, so question number 2. Okay, question number 2. A lemonade stand's profit is given by the equation P equals 2C minus 8.5. Which of the following does the number 2 most likely represent? So on this, probably what I would do is I would, first of all, try to just kind of look at this and kind of stop and think about, okay, if I had a lemonade stand, you know, what would we have to do here? Well, you would have to come up with how much you were going to charge for your lemonade, and then the amount of money you would have coming in would be multiplied by how many different cups of lemonade you sold. Alright, and then you would have to subtract, you know, all the money it took to buy the cups and to buy the lemonade and things of that line. Alright, so if we read each one of these, A, the price of 1 cup of lemonade, B, the profit generated from the sales of 1 cup of lemonade, C, the minimum number of cups of lemonade that must be sold to earn a profit, and D, the cost that must be recuperated before the lemonade stand earns any profits. Alright, now some of these we can automatically rule out. P is going to be profit, and they told you the lemonade stand's profit is given by the equation P. Alright, so then the 2 is not going to stand for the profit, so I automatically can cross that one out. The cost that must be recuperated before the lemonade stands earn money, there's absolutely nothing in there that would indicate there. Alright, the minimum number of cups of lemonade that must be sold to earn a profit, again talking about profit. Okay, the price of 1 cup of lemonade. Alright, it wants the C, the 2. Which of the following does the number 2 most likely represent? Okay, now if you don't answer, if you don't read the question carefully, the minimum number of cups of lemonade must be sold to earn the profit. Alright, that would be C. Alright, but the 2 would represent if it was $2 times every cup I sold minus however much it cost to buy my lemonade and stuff. Alright, so a question like this, you are going to have to like do some thinking, what it could be, rule out 2 of the choices if you can, and then that's going to help you come up with what the answer should be. Alright, so let's take a look at question 3 here. Alright, now this one does say that it's a calculator question. Alright, so I will get a calculator out here and see if you're going to be able to see the screen there maybe. Okay. Alright, so Darian needs to buy several white shirts for his new job. He finds one he likes for $35. That's on sale for 40% off. He also likes a blue tie that costs $21. Which of the following represents the total cost, not including tax, if Darian buys X of the white shirts that are on sale and 2 of the blue ties? Alright, well, to begin with here, if ties cost $21 and he's buying 2, I know 21 times 2, which hopefully I would not have to do that on the calculator, but it's $42. Alright, so it's going to be the amount of shirts plus $42. So then right off the bat I can rule out B because that's plus 21. Alright, now each one of these shirts are $35 but 40% off. If it's 40% off, I'm only paying 60% of that price. Alright, so then I can go 35 times 0.60 for 60% of that, and each shirt's going to cost $21, and X is how many I'm buying. So then I'm going to have a 21X plus that $42, and I can see that that one is going to be C. Okay, let's go to a fourth question. Alright, no longer a calculator question, so we'll put that up. Alright, here we've got an equation, and it says what value of Z satisfies the equation above. Alright, in the section that deals with linear equations, this is going to be very, very common. You are going to have to be able to solve any type of linear equation that you might encounter. Alright, so let's see, I can start to here. Okay, so Z over 6 times 3 over 2 minus 7 equals negative 2 times 3Z minus 4. Okay, over here, this is multiplication, so I probably do some crossing out and simplifying first. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 6 2 times. So that's going to leave this as a Z over 4 minus 7. Here I would distribute, so that's going to be a negative 6Z and a positive 8. Alright, when you get to there, trying to solve for Z, I could add 7 to both sides of the equation. This is going to be a Z over 4 equals a negative 6Z plus 15. Alright, at that point, I've got Z divided by 4. I've got a Z over there on the other side. I think it's going to be easier if I get rid of this fraction now. So Z divided by 4. So that means I'm going to multiply both sides by 4, so it goes away. Now on this side, since it's a binomial, I have got to multiply by 4, which means I'll have to distribute that. So I'm going to have a Z equals a negative 24Z plus 60 on the distributing the 4 right there. Now I can add 24Z to both sides of the equation. Cross out there, that's going to give me a 25Z equals a 60. And then I can divide both sides by 25. So 60 over 25, and reduce that to lowest terms. If I divide both of those by 5, I'm going to get a 12 over 5. Okay, so in this scenario, work the equation out using lots of algebra skills that you have learned and come up with the 12 over 5. Alright, now for a fifth question. Alright, for a fifth question, we are back to a calculator question. So we'll go ahead and set that down here, see if that doesn't help us out a little bit. Alright, it says, line L passes through the coordinate points of negative 7/2, 3, and negative 3/2, 5. What is the slope of line L? Now, chances are you are going to have a formula sheet on this, so you would not have to have the slope of a line memorized, but hopefully that is a basic enough skill that you would have that memorized. So, slope formula would be the difference of the y's. So y sub 2 minus y sub 1 all over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Okay, so I could label these points as such. First point, so this would be x sub 1, y sub 1. This would be x sub 2, y sub 2. Okay, so if I went ahead and did some plugging in there, 5 minus 3 over a negative 3/2 minus a negative 7/2. Alright, now, even though it is a calculator, I don't really need a calculator on this at all because we've got common denominators in a fraction here and just a plain number on the top there. So 5 divided by 3 is going to give me a 2. Alright, and then because it's minus a negative 7/2, I got to go plus plus there. Alright, they've already got common denominators, so I can subtract, use the sign of the larger, and I get 4 over 2. Well, 4 over 2 is 2. So then I'm going to have a 2 over 2, which is 1. Okay, and that is one of the answers. Okay, so yes, it was a calculator question, and I had the calculator. I was prepared to use it, But because of the way the numbers worked out, it was much, much faster to just go ahead and do it without the calculator. Alright, and then we've got one last question. Alright, so this will be question number 6 in this category. Alright, and this is going to be one of the gridded response ones where you're going to have to put your answer in the grid once you get it done. Alright, and again, they've given us an equation, and it says for what value of x is the equation above true. Alright, so in other words, they're asking you to solve this equation. Alright, and it is a calculator one, and I'm seeing some pretty big numbers in there, 204, 50, 17. Alright, so chances are on this one, I will be using the calculator. So 17, 6x minus 50 equals 204, 7 over 24x. Okay, now right off the bat here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and distribute that 17 on this side. So I'm going to use that calculator, and I'm going to go 17 times 6 just real quick, which is 102x. Then I'm going to go 17 times 50 and get 850. Alright, now on this other side, I've got 204 times 7 over 24x. Okay, so if you know where your fraction bar is on your calculator, I could do that. I could go 204 times, and then I could do 7, shortcut to that fraction bar, 24. And then that's going to give me a 119 over 2x. And I would just go ahead and leave it, I think, like that right now. I'm probably going to multiply by the reciprocal over here to get rid of that 119 over 2. So I'm going to multiply by 2 over 119 so that all of that crosses out over there. I'm going to multiply this by that 2 over 119. Okay, and again, then I'm going to go ahead and grab the calculator just real quick and multiply those two fractions out there. So 2 over 119. And then times that 102, and it comes out to be a 12 over 7x. And then I'm going to do the second multiplication there. I'm going to have a 2 over 119, and then times 850, and that's going to give me 100 over 7 equals x. Alright, at this point, I think I'll go ahead and subtract 12 sevenths x from both sides. Or you could, if you wanted to, at this point, multiply through by 7, alright, and get rid of those fractions, which maybe that might even be faster and easier. Multiply through by 7 at this point. So distribute to each one of these. Okay, so then we're going to have a 12x minus 100 equals 7x. Alright, subtract 12 from both sides. Minus 12x minus 12x. Negative 100 equals a negative 5x. Divide both sides by that negative 5. And we're going to have 20. Alright, so at any point in time, you could get rid of your fractions. I could have done to the very beginning there, but really, since it was a calculator question and I could use my fraction button, that did not take too awful long to do that. Entering this, I'm going to choose to go to the far right hand side, and I'm going to enter 20. So you'd enter 20 up there at the top, you'd fill in your 2, and you'd fill in your 0 right there. Alright, so it was just 6 really easy equations dealing with the linear. Everything was linear. Linear equations, a graph form, couple of solving equations, couple story problems where you had to put that linear equation in the context of a story problem. So nice little sampling for a short video of 6 little questions that fall in the easy category for linear equations. Definitely thanks for watching, and be sure to share with your friends. Thanks.